Carpal means wrist. So carpal tunnel syndrome is compression of a nerve that runs through a tunnel in your wrist. It's just a general loss of sensation and dexterity in the fingers. It most often will wake people up at night. That's when they'll generally feel it. And when they wake up in the morning, they have to wring their hands below their waist in order to get what feels like a lack of blood back to their fingers, when it's actually just the nerve being compressed, cutting off the sensation to your fingers, not the blood. It's a space issue. There's really not much room for the 9 tendons and the 1 nerve that run in there. So if the lining of the tendons gets inflamed, or there's not enough space because of a previous wrist injury, the nerve can become compressed. Repetitive strain injury was once thought to be a cause and a symptom of carpal tunnel syndrome, and it's actually a completely separate entity. Numbness and tingling, sometimes burning, in the thumb, index, middle, and half of the ring finger. Mostly by physical exam and the patient's description of what they have are enough for me to diagnose carpal tunnel syndrome. Oftentimes, carpal tunnel syndrome is confused with some kind of overuse tendinitis, where people do a lot of typing or assembling things on an assembly line at industrial jobs, and that is actually an overuse syndrome that causes tendons to be inflamed. Usually it's not in the carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel is more of a numbness, weakness, clumsiness, tingling kind of syndrome, not an aching or burning that you would get from a tendinitis from overuse. If you think you're experiencing some of the symptoms consistent with carpal tunnel syndrome, things you can try at home would be taking an anti-inflammatory, trying an over-the-counter splint that you can buy at Walgreens or any of the pharmacies, and a multivitamin. And if none of those things seem to work, give us a call and we'd be happy to see you.